Hi friends, welcome to Ohio. We're not in Arizona today, but I am sitting here with one of the finest models I've ever worked with. Her name is Sylvie Mix, and I always hesitate to call you a model, even though you basically are as far as our creative relationship, but you are an all-around artist. And can you tell people what you do creatively?
I have a microphone for a reason. I guess I would describe myself as, what do I do? I do model. I also, as of the past year, almost year and a half, I act. I've acted in 2 feature-length films at this point, which is really exciting. I'm a visual artist. I paint and draw and sculpt and I cook and I bake and...
Those are creative arts that a lot of people neglect to mention in their resume, but...
Like the food making?
Yeah. Are you creating your own recipes?
Snake plant! Sorry. Sometimes, yeah, it depends on... Sorry, I'm holding this because it made... I'm just gonna put this.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes, but usually I make my own recipes when I am almost out of groceries and I desperately need to make a meal out of what I have. And I've gotten pretty good at that. I'd also say stoner binges have made me really creative with food. You have a very specific, at least for me, I need something chewy and savory and with a dipping sauce. And then I'm like, all right, what can I fucking throw together?
That is so specific.
Am I allowed to cuss?
What? Of course.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I write some music and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I like to dabble.
Singer and guitar player. As far as I know, do you do other musical thingies?
I played violin for 8 years, but I stopped because I was an angsty teen who didn't want to do what my mom wanted me to do anymore. I do regret that. I wish I still played. But, no, that's pretty much it. I enjoy singing the most, but I don't practice that muscle often enough.
Do you write your own songs?
I do, but I don't really share them, which is silly, but yeah, I don't know. I've never published anything officially, so.
I've written a lot of music over the years, and some of it, mostly the instrumental stuff, I've currently released some through Spotify, but in the past, when in the year 2000 or whatever, we'd make CDs and distribute them. The things that had singing that I participated in, I felt weird about because I knew my singing wasn't up to a standard level, I think, but even working with the singer currently, we haven't released stuff even though it's artwork that's been done for maybe a year or longer. And it's just the thought is this has to be released in a particular way. It has, you can't, with our photography, we just throw it on the internet or our drawings I made a visual thing, here you go. But with the other stuff, and it's not like that a song necessarily took longer. It's just, I don't know. It feels like there has to be a release strategy or this is not a successful piece of art. Is that anything where you're coming from?
Yeah, I think I feel more like my visual stuff, I think I'm just more comfortable and confident with, so I don't really mind putting partially finished stuff or stuff that I don't consider perfect. But with music, I think I've always been kind of self-conscious of my music, and so there's definitely, it feels like there's more pressure when I want to share it,
Now you've got a really strong visual art style. Hopefully I'll get some samples for you to put up on the screen when we're talking about this. But I'm curious how, rather than me describe what you make or where you're coming from, You don't have to if you don't want to.
Just describe
if
it
it
as
hurts.
that. No,
Yeah.
no. That's just a.
Perhaps if there is a thought process behind, because
Well,
I do get, there's artists who are like just so manic in their creativity, there is no thought process. It's like, I got the paper, I got the tools, and blah, you just vomit on that paper.
I'd say like, well, so with a lot of things, with my writing, like my prose writing and poetry writing and songwriting, but also like stuff like painting specifically. Like I've never been the type to like sit down and be like, okay, I'm gonna write something, or okay, I'm gonna paint something. It's sort of just like, if it strikes me and I have the inspiration, then I'll do it. And sometimes that means I go months without writing or months without painting, but
Can you shift gears? If there's months without writing, is that void filled with a different creative outlet?
yeah, it's filled with things like experimenting with baking and cooking, or I've been learning a lot about making tinctures and teas and all kinds of like herbal remedies, or learning about my house plants and growing my own food and stuff, as much as I can in my tiny apartment. But
It really stands out. I'm not going to tell her address, but you live on the top floor of an apartment complex that has like a pyramid or a triangle shape, and if you like look at your place compared to everywhere else, it's Plant City. And actually, now that I have an apartment, I'm like, I want the same thing along my metal jail looking enclosure.
I think it makes a huge difference, just like especially this winter. I had to bring all my plants in because first frost happened, and so my house is just like full of all the plants that were outside now, and I think it's going to make a huge difference in my seasonal depression this winter.
Goodness.
I think plants are a lifesaver in that department.
If you want, I would suggest, and you have a friend who you get. Arizona is a great place to go for. There's people that come there called snowbirds from Canada and all over the place. But when I lived in Nebraska, I had the worst seasonal depression, and now it happens to me in July and August. Those are the worst months. I also have like a birthday in July, which I think you do too. Coming June. Okay, but yeah, when it's super hot and you just can't go, it's like being in prison. When it's cold and nasty in the Midwest, that's what it was like for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of cold or snow, or I mean, it's cool like the first couple of times it snows, and then
the first day,
it gets
and then it turns to slush.
It's slush and it's gray and everything is dirty, and I don't. But I love when it first snows, like going on a walk where it's like it feels like you're in tune. You're in like all the sound is just swallowed up by the snow around, and the sound of feet crunching in the snow is like, I always wish I could capture that. I've never taken a recorder with me, though. I don't know.
You and I are INFP personalities. We're similar, at least in that respect, but I think probably like in other ones, because this is the third time I've seen you in person, but you do a thing that not many people do on your social media, which is you communicate actual real things about your thoughts and feelings about people in your life. And I've been told by, well-meaning friends, when I talk about like I'm having a problem with a family member or like I'm just fucking up in my own life, and I'm like honest that I'm screwing up, and they're like, man, I don't know if that sounds professional or whatever. And I'm like, but I'm not here to be professional to you. I'm here to be a real human being. And even my favorite musicians, I just told you about Phil Oakes, but like John Lennon was pretty honest about when he was a shitty person, even if it was last week, not if it was something half a years ago. He's like, and I've always respected that about people who could like be open they don't need to have like no filter at all, meaning that they just walk around swearing in front of children. But you know, but I respected you as an artist and a human being for that for at least a year before I actually met you.
Thank you.
In person. INFPs being introverted, feelers, empaths, healers to other people. How has this worked for you in your life, and how has it worked against you?
Just my honesty on social media.
Well, being an empathetic, feeling
specifically
person,
the personality.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, being a feeler, I think, is a blessing and a curse because I'm completely motivated by my emotions. I mean, all my decisions are based on emotion. That can be really great sometimes when it comes to, I mean, you know, I try to help people in my life and even strangers when I can, and I think it allows me to be very empathetic and compassionate in general. But it can also be devastating in some moments. I mean, there are times when I am just completely consumed by my emotion and to the point where it's debilitating, and in that case it certainly is not to my benefit, but gosh, I mean, you know, even just being empathetic means I can hear someone else's story and be completely consumed by it as if it is happening to me, you know, and
that's why I had a seizure the other day.
Oof, yeah, I mean, and that's hard, and it will send me into spirals of depression and anxiety and affect my life because I'm empathizing so hard with someone else, which, especially when helping that person is out of my control, just doesn't feel very good. But
oh my gosh, I've been living that for so long.
Yeah.
Multiple people, but you know, a couple specific ones that even when I don't believe in God, but I'll go on top of a mountain and pray for them or something.
Yeah.
A real mountain, not like a metaphorical mountain.
Right.
I live in Phoenix, so we can just do. But taking your spontaneity and your empathy to the pictures that we create. This would be like the last bit of our chat. But the 3 times I've shot with you, I don't think I might have asked like 1 or 2 directions, but I don't. A, because you're a great model, but B, like tonight we shot some Halloween themed stuff. That was a lot of fun, and I think one thing I've noticed with the INFP models is there's almost no planning ever. That many of my other model friends who are INFJs they want a theme and they want an address and they want a time. Like, we kind of were vague about the time. I only gave you the address because I gave it to you. You never asked me, and I picked you up anyways. And then I think that in like Trick or Treat is the theme. It died 1 minute, and then it was like a chainsaw. You just wound up and went for it. You know, is that always your style in every shoot you do with everybody? Or?
Pretty much. I think at least for me it gets the best results because it's just chaotic and spontaneous and candid. Are
you happy with all of that?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought, gosh, I wish this was fully produced? I want all the hair and makeup. I want like a lookbook, or what do you call it? Mood board and all that shit? Or
not really. I like just seeing the weird shit that happens. I think there are benefits to planning, but I've never been a planner.
Okay. Me neither. Thanks for coming here and shooting and chit-chatting, Sylvie. You gotta wrap it up. We've only got like 5 seconds left.
Thanks.
All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.